Hi, this is Dr. Tom Taylor. After Super Bowl 51, you'll remember I fired off an email about a new disease that was announced after that football game called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, which you'll remember again is just a lot of big words that means your pancreas doesn't produce the right amount of enzymes. It doesn't keep up with the demand, basically. Now, if it can't keep up with the demand, then it raises the question, what kind of foods are you eating? Number one. Number two, is it possible that you're taking some kind of medication that interferes with your stomach producing the enzymes it's supposed to produce? For example, your stomach is supposed to digest most of the protein. That's not the job of the pancreas, although it has some enzymes to help finish that job. But if you've turned off the stomach effectively with some of these medications, that's exactly what they do. The brain doesn't even communicate with the stomach. So that food that's sitting there can come into the small intestine, not digested hardly at all. Well, the pancreas can't possibly keep up with that. So of course it's going to exhaust its supply of enzymes. It's trying to do a job it was never supposed to do. Now, when this happens to an organ or a gland, when it works harder than it's supposed to have to, it's going to become inflamed. We call that pancreatitis. And just like a joint becomes inflamed, we call that arthritis. Now, listen to this description. This comes directly from the National Pancreas Foundation. It always concerns me when there's a foundation associated with an organ, which means there's a whole lot of people that have a problem with this organ. So here's their description about diagnosing EPI. It means your body cannot properly digest fats, proteins, and carbohydrates in the food you eat. This is a direct quote. In addition to preventing adequate digestion, EPI produces uncomfortable gastrointestinal or GI symptoms. And only your doctor can tell if your GI symptoms are due to EPI or another digestive condition. End quote. Now remember, the symptoms of EPI are gas, bloating, and sudden diarrhea. Well, those are pretty general symptoms, aren't they? How many people do you know have gas, or bloating, or both? Now, sudden diarrhea, that's another story, but just because you have sudden diarrhea doesn't mean you have EPI. And while we're on the subject, let's lose the labels in the first place. All we know is the pancreas isn't doing its job. You're having trouble digesting your food. Let's look for the cause. What's the cause? It could be a faulty diet. You could be loaded with carbohydrates or processed foods or too much protein or all of the above. Or you could be on medication that turns off your stomach, so the pancreas works overtime trying to make up for what the stomach is supposed to do. So what's the solution? Well, it's very simple. Number one, eat according to the way your body is designed. How do we know what that is? Look at your tooth structure. It's for grinding. Foods that require grinding are what? Vegetables, fruits, nuts, seeds, grains. Then take a look at your digestive tract. It's very long, as opposed to a carnivore like a big cat that has a really short digestive tract where things come in, they go out really fast, and their stomachs are loaded with acid and their tooth structure is really sharp. Remember, your body functions according to its design, not your desire. So just because you want certain foods doesn't mean they're going to work very well. And haven't we proved that over the last 50 years with everything from Alka-Seltzer to Rolaids to Tagamet to Prevacid to Nexium to Lord knows what's come after that. There's been at least 2 or 3 ever since, all to fight the problem that's been going on in the stomach. So now we have this new problem, or diagnosing a new problem going on in the pancreas. That's the next organ down the chain. So we haven't paid any attention to what's gone on above the pancreas. Now the pancreas is in dire straits. What's next? Gallbladder? Well, too late. Gallbladder is about the 3rd most popular surgery there is. But you can save all of these organs simply by following the guidelines that God set up when he said, let there be you. This body is designed to work perfectly, and it'll do its job when we follow the rules. The simple rule is 75% vegetables and fruits, 25% nuts, seeds, grains. If there's room left over, have some meat, but use it as a condiment, not as a centerpiece. And this, by the way, is where food combining comes in really handy. I'm not going to get into that now because that's a whole subject on its own. Now, if you need some help, okay, then get some good high-quality enzymes. But watch out when you buy enzymes. Make sure you're getting enzymes that will work in the stomach and other enzymes that will work best in the pancreas. Why do you have to have two different ones? Well, usually if you take an enzyme formula that works in the stomach will digest it, and it's not near as powerful, not near as effective by the time it gets out of the stomach to the pancreas. Whereas a formula that is for helping the pancreas mainly passes through the stomach, so its full strength is available to help the pancreas in the small intestine. This is Dr. Tom Thaler. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again. Until then, live well.